wash your hands with water and soap regularly. Or use hand sanitizer. No go do body for where people gather plenty. Maintain social distancing. Above all, stay una house as government don't advise. Stop unnecessary waka about. So make we not spread this virus.
Coronavirus. No be only big man like me they catch you. If it catch anybody, even poor man yourself if it get am. So, make we join hand together. Take stop with this deadly disease where they kill our people and they never get a cure.
Together, we go overcome if we do all the things where they tell us to do.
We will overcome. And of course, I told you I have a lovely lady in the studio. She is Dr. Kechi Ogbuagu. Doctor, nice having you with us.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
You know, traditionally in my place, when people come to visit, we offer him something. And we start by washing our hands. But I don't have water here. But I have my hand sanitizer. So I'll quickly offer you the hand sanitizer. All right. Thank you very much. So, tradition, I follow suit. And I started by telling the public that you have passions, you know, two of them. One of them is health, and you've been in it for more than 47 years?
45 years.
45 years. Okay. Now, I would like you to, you know, reiterate what you told us. On the 26th, I've been following you for a while, 26th of March, before our index case in Nigeria with coronavirus, you said something. You told us that we were about to face a big-time war. Do you recall that?
Yeah. I'm a public health physician. I've been that for 37 years, to be exact. This is me. Professionally, what is happening in the world is the area where we public health physicians devote our lives. Issues of epidemics, issues of global health. And as I watched the saga unfold worldwide, I was very fearful. I was very concerned. I could see it coming. It's a virus, the type the world has never seen. And yet, we were not quite waking up to it. We all, a few weeks ago, thought it was a China issue. We didn't quite recognize the fact that it's going to turn into a pandemic, the proportion the world has never seen. We are fighting a war that is greater than a Third World War would ever have been. And yet, I don't think we have quite realized it yet. And so a few weeks ago, even as I saw it, watched it in Spain, watched it in Italy, watched it in China, I was afraid. And I released the video calling for Nigeria, for the world to wake up to the impending danger. Everything I said has come true today. But there's still a great deal more to be done.
That's the greater part. I look forward to that part. What are those greater deal?
We are fighting an enemy. I like to use those terms because it is real. So professional at what it does that it leaves us unaware of the huge danger we as a world is fighting. You see, this particular virus has finally shown us in a way that nothing else in the past has ever been able to do, that we're one. We're one connected humanity.
Definitely.
Issues of geography, of country, of tribe, of race, of color, name it, of social class, poor, rich, are totally irrelevant. The virus knows nobody different. The virus has brought us to our knees. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter that I'm Igbo and you're Yoruba or whatever. It's totally irrelevant. It doesn't matter that you're Chinese and I'm black and I'm white. It treats us all the same. It doesn't matter how much money I have. It doesn't matter where I live. We are one connected humanity.
You know, when I started, I did introduce you as the fellow of the West African College of Physicians, and I know that that's the one body that is quite solid. Earlier on, we talked about doctors in the field. You know, what would be your talk, you know, to them at this point in time? How to manage up, how to conduct themselves. Sometimes they are also, you know, it's not. We hear it every now and then. One doctor just died, and in the course of trying to save life.
Let me tell you, this is a very deep question for me. I have the privilege of having my first 2 children as doctors. Every day, my mother, even though I'm a doctor myself, I worry for them. They are part of that frontline workers that we're talking about now. Every day, my children, they're in the US and Canada, to go to work, they mask up, dress up as if they're going to mass. So many doctors are dying. Every day my 2 children are at risk. I doff my hat to healthcare personnel all over the world. Finally, history has shown everyone that they are true heroes. They have their family to worry about. They have their health to worry about. But they're working round the clock, providing health care even when the facilities to do so are not there. I doff my hat to doctors and health personnel in this country. They're so exposed, they're so at risk.
There was one that just happened in Benin.
Yes, where somebody comes in, doesn't tell them the case is potentially COVID, and so many of them are potentially now at risk. Doctors in this country, I worked for many years in this country myself as a doctor before I went international, have, I'm sorry, I agree with them, been largely unrecognized doctors and health personnel for the work they do. We have oftentimes in the past cried out about the weak health system we have in this country. It is deplorable. And yet, this is the same health system that is going to be expected to cope with the emergency that is here and that will still come. But having said that, my greatest call in the video I released was the fact that this is the time the world must come together. This virus recognizes us as one. It doesn't care who you are. To defeat this war, we must come together as one at every level. National, continental, global. Until we do that, we will never contain this virus. It will destroy this world as we know it. I am not joking. It is a fact. As we sit here, it has brought the world to its knees already.
Definitely. Definitely. A lot of us are, scared. Yesterday I got home, as I packed my car, little children ordinarily that will come to greet me and hug me, they tried to come around and they halted and I could see the little one, about 2 years plus, battling. Mommy said I should not hug anybody. I felt really pained at that point, but I understood because we needed to maintain our social distances. But speaking about age, I know that a lot of times we've heard that this thing affects a lot of elderly people. And I need you to speak to them at this point. What should be their concern, the elderly people? Is it because a lot of them actually have fear? Is the fear okay for them? What should be their lifestyle change at this point to ensure that they are safe? Because I want to see my grandmother at 100 and something.
I like to think I belong to that elderly group.
No, you're not there yet.
I think I am.
I know you're well above 60, 69 actually, almost 70. And for you, you redefine the word 60 is the new 40 because you don't look it. So I don't want to put you there.
But the point is, you see, in answering that question, let me go back to the issue of the virus. This virus, in a way, is as if it is here to teach the world a lesson. Okay? It has mercifully been less devastating for our young. And I personally am immensely grateful for that. They get the infection, and I'm not saying that they don't get the infection, but they are oftentimes, it's less tough and severe for them. But then, they become dangers to their elderly, grandparents, and so on and so forth. Because they are then transmitting the infection without knowing they're transmitting the...
That's
you see,
the
virus has hit us at the heart of our humanity. It has taken from us the ability to love, to hug, to touch, to show affection. That is extremely painful.
Very, very.
It has also put in the hands of our young the weapon to kill the people they love most. The elderly, like you said. And so, what should the elderly do? Which was a question you asked me, to protect themselves. For me, I'm a grandmother many times over now. My greatest joy at this point in time is interacting with my grandchildren. In fact, I love them so and I enjoy it so much. I told my daughter, I said, if I had known it was so wonderful, grandchildren, I would have started with grandchildren and not with children.
That's a nice one. How are you going to jump the curve?
I don't know, but it's so much. And so you see, for those of us elderly ones, as people age, our joy is in that constant
definitely
with our family, our children, our grandchildren.
The cuddling, all of it.
And yet now, it is so dangerous to do that. We have the elderly have to stay in isolation more than anybody else. And at the same time, do the best they can to remain mobile. Because if the virus doesn't kill you, inactivity and all its consequences will kill you.
Yes.
And still to find ways of the social interaction that you need to keep healthy and also to eat right. So basically, I have answered them. Mobility as much as you can. Eating right, so important.
Very important.
And finding ways, if NEPA and other facilities allowing, to interact with your loved ones through the social media if you have access to that, the telephone if you have access to that, because those are the things that keep old people going.
All right. I always I want to add, it's really nice, like you said, whatever you do, keep yourself happy. Don't go watching where they tell you millions of people have died, blah, blah, blah. Try to watch very relaxed programs sometimes if you're that frightful. We'll be going on a little break. When we come back, the program continues.
Coronavirus, where the nickname na COVID-19, it not be big man who sickness, so if it catch anybody, according to World Health Organization, WHO, where then they call WHO, make I show you how the disease they take spread.
Oga travel go abroad, come back with symptoms of COVID-19 infection. As he land for airport, driver go carry and come house. His wife and pikin welcome. Cook arrange food for Oga. Houseboy and housegirl pack Oga load enter house. Now so Oga begin spread this infection to him people. Driver go mechanic workshop, go spread am. Cook go open market to go buy one or two things. She go spread am too. Even house cleaner go back her house, go spread the same infection. Now so this coronavirus begin take style dey spread from family to we country people.
So therefore, make we join hands obey all the instructions wey government and our medical people don give us. Wash your hands with water and soap regularly, or use hand sanitizer. No go join body for where people gather plenty, maintain social distancing. Above all, stay in a house as government don't advise. Stop unnecessary waka about. So make we not spread this virus.
Coronavirus. No be only big man like me they catch you. If it catch anybody, even poor man yourself fit to get am. So, make we join hand together. Take stop with this deadly disease where they kill our people and they never get a cure.
Together, we go overcome if we do all the things where they tell us to do.
All right, the program is still The Woman, and I have my guest who has been, almost making me cry, I told you, with the, talk on coronavirus. It does really get to the bones, but it is true. And I recall that when we started, you said you had a particular message for Nigerians. Would you want to share that now?
Absolutely. A message for Nigerians, but also a message for the world. The only way to defeat this virus is together. Nigeria must address its response in a totally coordinated manner, with everybody in the society pitching in. It isn't just a government issue. It isn't just civil society. It is each and every one of us, young, old, everybody. Until we do that, we will never defeat this pandemic. Nigeria cannot survive alone. It must be a continental action. If Nigeria contains and Sierra Leone doesn't, we can never be safe. Africa will never win this war alone. It must be global. We must find a way to surmount all divisions and work together, the world as one, to contain this virus. Until we do that, it's never going anywhere. But let me talk a little bit more about Nigeria. This is not the time for party politics. This is not the time for professional politics. This is not the time for it's you and it's not you, it's me and it's not me. Mm-hmm. We as Nigerians must realize the gravity of the situation for us. Sometimes I think the government understates the issue. I think it's better to be frightened and overreact than not react enough and face the consequences. Yes, the virus came in largely from abroad. But the issue is that that stage is gone. It is now being transmitted by us, within us. There is community spread. Anything else is not the truth. Let me also say that in my opinion, expert opinion, the virus is in every state in this country.
Today, not just 14 states?
No. It is everywhere.
How do you come to that?
Because there are no geographical boundaries. There are fictitious things in our mind. Anambra and Imo, all that's Anambra and Enugu State, all that separates them is a bridge, a rickety bridge that you pass, and it says, "Welcome to Anambra State." People are moving and shuttling between the states. They were all the time. The contacts you're tracing, we know how difficult it is to follow people. So they're already spreading. The virus is spreading. That is the reality. So we can hear about confirmed cases and all that. But the fact is that it is those you're testing that you can say are confirmed. There are many you're not testing. So in a way, they're not a marker of the infection we have in this country. It is better for us, and it is closer to the truth, to realize that every state is already hosting the virus, and it is spreading everywhere. And that is why we must take the measures of containment seriously.
You're actually making me a bit frightened now.
It is a fact.
I got to use my hand sanitizer. Let me talk. Okay, I will not leave until I've asked you, what does conversation for change mean? I know it's targeted at young people, right? Okay, talk to me about it.
I will. Let me before I move on to Conversations for Change, which is a wonderful passion, I will land on my other one.
Okay.
I just want to say to all Nigerians, we need to come together, all right? This is not the time for politics. The Presidential Task Force is doing an amazing job. They're doing their best. It is an extremely difficult job. This is not time for anything else. The only thing I would say to them is, too many times I watch them and I feel they're on the defensive. We need leadership. We need leaders there that tell us the truth and that make us realize that we each have a role to play. This is a time to come together. I listened to one of the states saying yesterday about a lot of money being given to Lagos State and they didn't get. That is not it. That is not the issue. We're facing a common enemy. We must all work together. This is the time for states who perhaps don't have a lot of infections to invest and help other states where the infections may be higher.
Oh, definitely.
This is the only way we will survive.
Yes, definitely.
So
I still needed to talk on Conversations for Change.
Okay. Now I move on to my other passion. Usually my consuming passion until this epidemic came along.
Okay.
I retired. When you're blessed to retire after many years of work, but still strong, you devote your time and your passion to an unfinished agenda. For me, that agenda, young people. For many reasons. I'm a mother of 4. I have 4 amazing young people. I have daughters and sons-in-law in addition. And they give me joy. They're so talented, they're so brilliant, they have so much to give the world. But I have also worked extensively with young people. I was a lecturer in community medicine, head of department for over 10 years, nurtured and brought up many of the young doctors you see today. I worked in the United Nations for almost 20 years. A great deal of my work was with young people. They are today and are tomorrow.
Definitely.
This country, Nigeria, belongs to them. The future of our country depends on these young people being properly empowered. Helping them to be the best they can. Because when they are the best they can, our country will definitely be the best it can be. And I look around me and I think we're way behind in that. I talk about young people and I say they're 0 to 40. That is what Conversations for Change works on. They constitute approximately 75 to 80% of the population of this country. Where you work for the progress of this country, and that progress doesn't significantly impact on 80% of your people, you're not doing anything. I say we should be so firm as to actually, if somebody says, I have achieved in a particular area, I would ask, show me how it impacted on 80% of these young people that are young people. And if you're unable to do that, then you haven't done anything.
Most definitely. I share that totally.
And so I believe that it is an empowering them and positioning them to do what they need to do for this country, that this country will progress.
All right, thank you so much. I did mention that the woman is much more than what we have just done today. And this Conversations for Change, I am going to continue with it and even introduce the other side of you. You've been trying to bring it out a little bit. I will leave it until when we are done with the bad wind of the coronavirus. We'll come back and have a fuller interview. But I must say, it's been amazing, having you on the show, even though you did make me, cry a little bit, and God will protect your children, Amen. Protect all of us. But then to be able to get that done, just like she said, her children, wrap up like they're going to the moon, we too must ensure that we protect ourselves. I always have my hand sanitizer wherever I go. And if it's possible, there's water everywhere. Find water and wash yourself real clean. Don't forget, people say your health is in your hands, and I say your life actually is in your hands. Bye.